Okay, here we go then. The last race of the day, it's all to play for. Race 2, it all comes down to the next 14 laps. And away they go. Now, and there's Darren spinning out as well. Darren, there's contact there, push Kieran wide. Oh, but it's gone off. What's going on? Shane's also there in the BMW. Oh, nearly loses it. Kieran's going to have to slow down. No, he's gone too much. It's Josh here, and he is leading. This is fantastic for Josh. Oh, a bit of a luck tap. And Josh, oh my God, who's going to take it? I think it's Darren. I think it's going to be Rob. Rob gets it. He's actually on the grass. This isn't good for Tom. And he's made the move. Look at that. Through Eau Rouge. Oh, that's Mike. Mike's gone off. Oh, Craig sideways. Big time. Is it going to be enough? No, Sam takes it and takes the title ahead of Tom. Two Nissan GTRs take up the front row of the reverse grid here for race 3 at Dragon Trail. Rob Pellet is in the Nissan GTR for Elliott Racing. Next to him is Harry Cook in the other Nissan GTR. Row 2, we've got Stephen Heath in the Subaru WRX, and next to him we've got Darren Parker in the first of the Team Parker Racing Renault Meganes. Sam Parker is row 3 in the other Team Parker Racing Renault Megane with Craig Kellett in the Elliott Racing Nissan GTR. Row 4 is the Nissan GTR of Mike Kuipers and Joe Burrows in the brand new Mazda Atenza. Row 4, we've got Tom in the K-Tech Racing Subaru WRX, Mark Nicol in the Renault Megane. On the back row of the grid, we've got Josh in the Renault Megane, and of course, Gary Black doesn't start the race again for race 3. It's the final race of the day here at Dragon Trail then. Rob Pellet on pole for the reverse grid. And away they go then, and it's an even start between Rob and Harry in the two Nissans. Stephen Heath comes up into third position, just ahead of Craig then. And as we watch with Craig, a little bit of push and shove, but everyone's through there quite safely. Everyone has done their part to get through those first chicanes nice and safely. On board with Joe in the Mazda. Down to 6th now, with Mike ahead of him. Well, that's an interesting move. Look at that. That was very good. Real quick on the inside. So a battle already is starting here. It's all very close. There's Harry, one of the Renaults running a little bit wide. On board with Harry, that's Sam in front with Craig ahead of him. Everyone's through the chicane quite safely. And there is Craig, who is going wide, and Mike has been bounded by both the Renault and the Nissan of Parker and Elliott. And Mike now under threat from Harry Cook, so Harry potentially could overtake here. And this is some fantastic racing going on here. The pack racing is unbelievable. Literally within the first lap, everyone is close together. It's very clean so far. A little bit of tap there. Again, all through safely. So Sam is just behind Rob here. Rob is leading, and at the moment it's a 1-3 for Elliott Racing. So could they get some great points, a great points haul here? On board with Craig, who's got Sam on the inside. Sam's got ahead. Behind Craig is Mike and Stephen. Again, that's Mike, who's now got past Craig. So that was a good move. All going through the chicane. The bus chicane. And oh, that's Stephen Heath. He's hit the wall. He's hit the barriers. And that's going to push him down. Let's have a little look. Oh, there's a three-way before we have a look at that. Three-way between Josh and Joe. Oh, Joe goes wide now with Harry. A little bit of contact there, but just a little bit of a racing incident there. So there's Stephen. Let's have a little look at the replay, see what happened to Stephen with that chicane. Let's have a look, see what happened with Stephen Heath as he went into the bus chicane. He looked to get the exit. Oh, there it is. He actually hits the inside wall first before he hits the exit wall. Let's have a little look on board. Now it's just a tap, and then he was never going to recover from that. So looking now, and as Sam has got past Rob, so Rob down to second, has lost the lead. He's still there fighting. This is super close between the top four, and the rest of them aren't too far behind. 3 Nissans in the top 4 here, and Josh, look how quick Josh has caught up to the rest of them. So Josh is on fire here, absolute on fire, on form. He could get another good result if he can get past this pack here. Mike on the inside of Craig now, sorry, Rob, and he's got past. So Rob back down to third, and Mike now into second, just behind Sam, ahead of the 2 Elite Racing Nissans. And Josh again catching up super quick to these guys. Hit a little tap there. The 2 Elite Racing Nissans hitting each other, and it won't go down too well with the team if the 2 take each other out. It's not often you see the 2 Nissans together. Just 2 very different strategies during the race for the tyres. So Josh ahead of Rob now. Rob down to 5th. Further down, Harry is 6th. Darren is 7th, just ahead of Joe here. So on board with Joe in the Mazda. His 4th position finish earlier on. He's going to really help with his confidence. And once he's got the mileage under his belt from today's race, he can go into the next round feeling a lot more comfortable with the car and the setup. Stephen trying to catch up, and Tom in 10th with Mark down in 11th. So Mark must have had an off because he's quite far behind. So Sam's still leading, just ahead of Mike, who has got Craig literally on the end of his bumper. And Josh isn't too far behind. Rob ever so slightly dropping off the back of this. Whoa, that's Craig going wide there, and that's actually allowed Josh to get ahead then. So Josh ahead of Craig now, and coming up behind Mike. On to lap 5. Plenty of action in this race, very similar to race 1. 2 Nissans of Elite Racing back together again. And that's Mike. Mike's gone wide, so Mike is in the gravel. So that's lost him a few positions. Easily done. Might have hit the curbs, very similar to Tom. We didn't quite see it, but we did just see him go off into the gravel. And that's Rob. Oh, Rob goes wide. So That's affected his whole speed into the... Whoa, he's nearly lost it. Oh, he just about keeps himself going. And this has now allowed Harry to catch up. And Harry looks like he's going to... Oh, just a bit of a tap there. So Rob down to 6th now. Just ahead of Darren. Darren could get past, and behind Darren is Joe. Oh, that's Harry has hit the wall, so all that hard work that Harry put in to get past Rob and into 5th, he's just lost it all. So back up into the lead of the race. The top 3 here is now between Craig, Josh and Sam. Non-stop action, this. Absolute battles everywhere. There hasn't been a point at all where I've not said anything. Craig is right on the back bumper of Josh, and he's got on the inside of the first chicane. Oh, there's a bit of contact, and that was probably a little bit too much from Craig there. He slowed down. He's played the fair game, just a little bit too keen. Racing hard now between these 3. It's unusual for Craig to make mistakes, but quite a minor one, and played it fair, let the others pass. So back on board with Craig then, just behind Josh. Josh is probably full of confidence after his win in race 2, and with that he actually started on the back row of the grid, and as you can see he is fighting for the lead. So this is an absolute storm of a race for Josh. Can you even believe this is the same person who has struggled to keep the car on the track with his nightmare start to the season? He did come into this full of hope and confidence because of his liking to this track. He felt that this was one of his strongest of the season, and it's certainly showing. So Backlink's still there for the lead of the race, and now Mike is on the back end of Rob for 4th, with Darren just behind. So on the outside of this corner for Mike, but coming up to the next corner will be on the inside of the first bed chicane. Mike hasn't quite got it, but Darren is very close behind, and Joe isn't too far behind them either. A race now is happening between Stephen and Harry, 2 incredibly bright cars, hot pink Heathy and the bright orange Nissan of Harry. Heathy and Harry. It's not Gary and Harry this time, it's Heathy and Harry. This is a lonely race for Tom on the hards. Maybe not the best strategy, but he's got some points from races 1 and 2. And Mark, who seems to still be quite far behind, trying to make up for earlier. So Sam very quick through the chicane. I think that's Craig in the background who might have hit the wall, but it's not slowing him down enough to let Josh past. This lead pack has managed to get away from the rest of them, spread out a little bit, but it's still on for that elusive first position. Can Craig get another to tally up his wins for the season and to take that lead further into the distance? Darren needs to get the points really all the time that Craig is winning points over Darren. The lead will stretch further and Darren will start to lose his fight on for Craig. So Rob, on board with Rob. in 5th, just behind Darren here. Darren has just lost sight of the leading pack, so he's having to defend hard here against Rob, who has got Mike behind him. Rob has got an opportunity to get past Darren. Darren's running slightly wide on those curbs, but Rob slots back in just behind Darren, and the 4 of them are in the chicane now. Anything can happen here. Oh, Rob nearly goes wide into the wall, but manages to keep it. So, on board with the Mazda of Joe. So Harry has got a bit of distance ahead of Stephen now. Tom still down in 10th, Mark still down in 11th. Sam is still leading this race. Josh has slightly dropped off, and that's Rob going slightly wide, nearly into the gravel. That's allowed Mike to get up on the inside of this next corner. It's a fast one. Mike hits those curbs. He's lost it again. He's in the gravel for the 2nd time of this race. You see how that car just jumped into the air. As soon as it hit the ground, he's gone straight into the gravel. So he's now behind Harry, who's actually caught onto the back of this race as well. So Darren has got a bit of a gap where Mike was, but Rob, Joe and Harry are now in for a fight. Possibly one of the most entertaining races so far this season. There's been a few good ones, but nothing quite like this so far. Josh still on the back of this race with Sam and Craig has got the gap down and on the inside, so Craig has got an opportunity to take the lead. I think he's taking it. So Sam is on the outside, Josh is on the inside, side by side, just behind Craig as they come up to the start finish straight. So 3 of them coming down the straight and onto lap 10 of 13. Not many laps left, but look how close this top 3 battle is. Josh slotting just behind them for the first chicane. 2 Renaults and a Nissan. Josh slightly going wide. Luckily those curbs don't unsettle the car. So Sam looked like he was going to go for the lead again, but Craig takes the lead. And this lead pack is still quite ahead of the rest. Whoa, little bit of contact there. Josh has got to be careful. If he ruins the race, it'll be a potential penalty if he's not careful, and not only that, other people could end up overtaking him. That's better. Gets past Sam, so Josh up to 2nd now, Sam down to 3rd, and Craig is leading. Sam has got a good run from the chicane, so Sam on the inside of the final hairpin, and I think he's got Josh. Yeah, he's got him. So Josh is going to run wide. He's going to keep his exit speed though, so Josh is just slotting behind. So Josh back down to 3rd, Darren on his own in 4th, just a bit ahead of Rob in 5th, who's just ahead of Joe, Harry and Mike. Stephen on his own, and Mark has now got ahead of Tom. Tom is still on the hard, so Mark has managed to catch up and into 10th position. This battle still raging on. Look at that move from Josh, and he's just about got him. Although the exit's not great, but Sam doesn't capitalise on it. Josh runs really wide on the S's, but Sam hits the curbs. He kicks the back end out of the car. Josh nearly running wide on the exit as well. He's kept that 2nd. And all the time this slightly unsettled racing is going on here. Craig is just inching forward further ahead, the two, and gapping them. And if Craig gets that gap and gets so far ahead, you know what Craig is like, he'll take that win. But it looks like Craig's hit the wall. And yeah, the two are catching up. Look at the speed difference when you hit the wall. Do not overtake, it says on the back of the car. Oh, there's a bit of a tap there. As I said, it says do not overtake on the back of the Elite Racing Nissan GTR, but of course Josh doesn't listen and overtakes into the lead of the race. Look how close they are. Literally touching each other. Craig goes back into the lead and Josh slots into second. We're on to lap 12 then, so 2 laps left. I'm starting to lose my voice again. So much being said. Look how close Josh is on the back of the Nissan there. Further down, and Rob might have caught up with Darren here, so Rob's got an opportunity to get past Darren. This is another good performance, solid performance for Rob, who's getting to grips with the Nissan a bit better. It's taken him a little while to dial it up to his liking compared to Craig. Now further down, race is developing between Joe, Harry and Mike. Harry on the inside of Joe. Can he get him on the hairpin? It's still on the inside, but I don't think he's quite got him. He might have to settle in behind him in the chicane. Oh, he doesn't. They go side by side. A little bit of a tap. That's slowing him down. Mike is trying to get past, but he can't. That might allow Heathy to catch up. And here we go again, on to the final lap then. 3 abreast. I don't think anyone could call it from here. They are literally right by each other into the first chicane. God, look how close they are. This is unbelievable racing. They're giving each other the racing room they need. Place your bets now, everyone, because it's going to be a right corker and it's going to be right down to the wire. Craig goes wide. There's a little push by Josh. Robin's racing though, he gets his elbows out, but that's allowed Sam to get up on the outside, and they're side by side as they go into the S's. We've got Craig just behind. Craig is close to Sam now though, so Josh has got the advantage. He's in the lead whilst the two squabble behind. This is an unbelievable race. Oh, a bit of a tap there by Craig into the final hairpin. Not the final hairpin, sorry, the seaside hairpin, as they go down into the bus chicane. Josh has got the lead, he's got the advantage. Just a few more corners left. Can Josh get the second win of the day and get 2 on the trot? Oh, there's a bit of a tap there. Oh, there's Craig has pushed Sam into the wall. Can you believe it? So Josh will take the lead and will come to the final corner and take his second win of the day. Oh, an unbelievable set of events. So here he comes then. Josh Hardy wins his second ever win and the second win of the day at Dragon Trail. I don't think he'll be believing his luck right now. Sam will take second, Craig will take third. He must have slowed down to let him pass. Darren takes fourth, Rob takes fifth. And it's a battle for the line between Mike and Joe, but Mike gets it. Harry will take 8th. Mark has just got ahead of Stephen then, so Mark will take 9th, Heafy will take 10th, and Tom will slowly on his hards come away with 11th. There's a few points in the bag, but probably not the strategy he needed. Let's have a little look at the replay after this. On board with Craig, and as you can see, he just gets a run up and there's a tap, and it's just forced Sam into the wall. It was never going to work with 2 cars side by side in the chicane. Craig obviously lets Sam pass to take the second position, but unfortunately it's just spot at the end of the race. But as you can imagine, Craig is going to race for that position, but it just didn't work out this time. A fantastic end to the event here at Dragon Trail. Race 3 results: Josh takes the win, a second win of the event as well, ahead of Sam and Craig in second and third. Darren takes fourth, Rob takes fifth, Mike takes sixth, Joe takes seventh, Harry takes eighth, Mark takes ninth, Stephen takes 10th, and Tom finishes at the back. And of course Gary didn't start for the second time of the day. So what this means for the championship title points going into round 5, Red Bull Ring coming away from Dragon Trail. Craig is leading by 32 points, 198 to 166 ahead of Darren. Mike is back into third with 136. Mark is 135, so at 1 point behind. Tom is in 6th, just behind Josh, so Josh has jumped ahead with 132, Tom is on 130. 7th is Sam now with 115. 8th is Kieran with 89, he drops down because he didn't take part. Harry is 9th with 85. 10th is Rob with 71. 11th is now Stephen with 47, who jumps ahead of Gary with 43. James is 13th with 27, and just a point ahead Joe with 26 in 14th. In the teams then, Parker go back ahead of Elliot, can you believe, with 225, Elliot Racing with 221, and K-Tech down in third with 273 after Kieran unfortunately can't make it. So in the independents, Mark is leading by just 2 points now with 186 to 184 ahead of Mike. Josh isn't too far behind, he's creeping up now with those 2 wins, a massive points haul, in third with 168. Harry is fourth with 135. Gary is fifth with 70. Stephen is sixth with 62. Joe jumps ahead of James with 39, and James is 8th with 34 points. Thank you very much for joining us here in Croatia at Dragon Trail. Another 3 exciting races that have just been. We look forward to seeing you in a week's time at Red Bull Ring in Austria for more action with the FeckWrest Touring Cars Online Championship. We'll see you then.